Welcome to an exciting trip into how our brains work. Today we're going to dig deep into psychology, sharing 13 amazing facts that tell us secret things about how we think, act, and see the world. From the weirdness of having a backup plan to the strength of thinking positively, from our natural dislike for rules to our love for the songs we listened to in high school, each fact will give you an interesting peek into how our brains work. So, get ready for a fun journey into our complicated brains. Diving right in, our first psychological fact is about our plans. Have you ever noticed how having a plan B can sometimes make your plan A less successful? This is actually tied to the expectancy theory. The expectancy theory suggests that our actions are determined by how much we value the outcome. So when we have a backup plan, our mind subconsciously devalues the importance of our primary plan, making it less likely to succeed. Interesting, isn't it? How our mind subconsciously devalues our primary plan when we have a backup. Moving on to fact 2, let's talk about our empathy scale. It's an intriguing paradox of the human mind that we often show more concern for a single individual's plight than for massive tragedies. It's as though our capacity for compassion is somehow overwhelmed by large numbers. And we find it easier to connect with the tangible suffering of one person than with the abstract notion of widespread calamity. It seems our empathy has a strange way of quantifying human suffering. Fact 3 brings us to the intriguing world of our memory. When it comes to remembering things, our brains have a peculiar pattern. We tend to remember the beginnings and ends of events more vividly than the middles. It's a phenomenon known as the serial position effect. Think about your favorite book or movie. Chances are you remember the exciting climax and the gripping introduction quite clearly, but the details in between might be a bit hazy. This might explain why we always remember how stories start and end, but the middle part gets fuzzy. Fact 4 takes us to the realm of positivity. The human mind is a fascinating entity, and it's particularly interesting when it comes to balancing positivity and negativity. It's been found that it takes an astounding 5 positive experiences to counterbalance a single negative one. Imagine that. 5 instances of joy, accomplishment, or even simple contentment to offset one moment of negativity. This shows the incredible power of positivity and its impact on our perception. Fact 5 is a delightful one for food lovers. Ever noticed how a meal seems to taste better when someone else prepares it? It's not just about the recipe or their culinary skills. Psychologists suggest that the effort and time we save not cooking ourselves enhance our enjoyment of the meal. Plus, when others cook for us, it often feels like a form of care, boosting our emotional satisfaction. So, next time you enjoy a meal cooked by someone else, remember it's not just the recipe, but also the psychology behind it. Fact 6 delves into our fear of the unknown. It's an intriguing aspect of the human psyche that we'd rather brace for a known adversity than be left in suspense. This is because we humans are wired to crave predictability. It gives us a sense of control, a modicum of power over our circumstances. When we know what to expect, even if it's something negative, we can plan, prepare, and muster the courage to face it. Seems like our mind prefers a known devil to an unknown angel. Fact 7 unravels our rebellious instinct. Ever wonder why, when faced with one rigid rule, you suddenly feel an urge to break more? This is because our instinctual human nature is programmed to resist restrictions. We are, by design, creatures of freedom and autonomy. When our autonomy is threatened, we respond by resisting, often leading to a domino effect of defiance. This is not limited to laws or regulations. It also applies to societal norms, personal boundaries, and even self-imposed rules. It's like when you're on a strict diet and you eat one cookie. Suddenly you want to eat the whole box. This rebellion instinct can be traced back to our earliest ancestors, who had to resist and adapt to changing environments for survival. So it's not so much about rebellion as it is about resilience and adaptability. Remember this fact the next time you feel a surge of rebellion over a strict rule. Fact 8 explores our belief system. It's a curious thing how our minds work. We have a tendency to unintentionally believe what we want to believe. This isn't about being delusional or wishful thinking. It's a cognitive bias where our desires and hopes shape our perception of reality. It's like wearing rose-colored glasses, but the lenses are our desires. This subtle mental skewing can influence our decisions, judgments, even our interactions with others. Our beliefs, it seems, are more a reflection of our desires than of objective reality. Fact 9 is for the music lovers out there. Ever wondered why the tunes from your high school days hold a special place in your heart? It's due to a psychological phenomenon called musical imprinting. During our teenage years, our brains are developing at a rapid pace, forming strong emotional connections with experiences. Thus, the music we listen to during this period gets imprinted on our minds, shaping our musical preferences for life. This might explain your nostalgic connection with those old school tracks. With fact 10, we return to the realm of memory. We often believe our memories are perfect snapshots of past events, but they're more akin to a mosaic, pieced together from various fragments. Each time we recall an event, we reconstruct it, and this process can lead to subtle changes. This is why two people can remember the same event differently. It's not about faulty memory, but about how our brains assemble and reassemble these memory mosaics. Our memories, it seems, are more of a creative reconstruction than a factual recording. Fact 11 reveals an interesting visual bias. Our brains are wired to recognize human faces. It's one of the first skills we develop as babies. This face detection software in our minds doesn't switch off when we look at inanimate objects. So we see faces in clouds, in the pattern of a fabric, or even in a piece of toast. This phenomenon, known as pareidolia, is a testament to our social nature. Next time you see a face in a cloud or a piece of toast, remember it's just your brain doing its thing. Fact 12 delves into the power of expectations. This fascinating psychological phenomenon suggests that people often perform in line with the expectations we set for them. When we hold high expectations, we unconsciously encourage and inspire them to rise to the occasion. Conversely, if we harbor low expectations, they're likely to underperform. This is a testament to the influential role our mindset can play in shaping the behavior of those around us. Our expectations, it turns out, can shape not just our perceptions but also others' performances. Our final fact, fact 13, is about our perception of time. You see, our brains are wired more for the present than the future. The immediacy of now often outweighs the distant later, causing us to prioritize short-term gratification over long-term rewards. This is why we tend to dismiss long-term deadlines as not so important. Our brains simply don't perceive them as immediate threats or needs. This may explain why we often find ourselves scrambling to meet deadlines at the last minute. That's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, give thumbs up. For more videos like this, hit subscribe button.